What's going on, everybody? Riley Welch from the Riley M. Welch Presents. Today I have a brand new guest. Actually, I spoke with him, I want to say a year ago at Boots and Hearts. He has a brand new single with a brand new music video that is released today. So before I say the guest, make sure you check out this show. Either it's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you leave a comment and a like, and let's grow this show. So today, I'm talking to Kris Barclay. What's going on, everybody? Riley Welch here for the Riley M. Welch Presents. Today, I am with Kris Barclay. This is the second time he's on the program. What's going on, Kris?
Hey, man. How you doing? Thanks for having me out here, first of all.
Yeah, awesome. So you just released a brand new single, 360, that was just added to the CBC Radio Sirius XM. So congrats on that. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Yeah, so much. It's so cool because you'll be doing stuff around the house and just you'll be even popping on the TV or CBC Radio, or you'll be in a car with Sirius XM playing. So to have the opportunity to hopefully hear my song come through, it'd be a really cool thing.
I think that's huge because it is satellite internet and it goes everywhere.
Yeah, so
not just like local regions and radio, but it goes everywhere.
I mean, it's huge, and so. Big shout out and thanks to the whole team at CBC Music for, number one, believing in me as an artist, because you have to in order to commit to them. You're not just going to commit to one song. You believe in the artist, then you support them, this and that, and then all of that, then they enjoyed the song. Because for me, 360 was something that was so much fun to write. We can get into how that came to be if you want, but we had so much fun writing, and I thought, if this is this much fun writing this song, then hopefully country music fans will think it's that much fun just to listen to it and vibe along with it. So
let's get into it. Tell us about the song.
Well, so a couple of buddies of mine that we were writing with, and we're in this room, and we start throwing ideas around, and we were kind of talking about if you like kind of meet somebody, and most people would rate them out of 10. You know what I mean? Like, she's a 10 out of 10, she's a 12 out of 10, whatever the deal is, right? But it's like, hey, what if 10 out of 10 ain't good enough? She's a 360, man. Hey, she's not even just – and the 10 is the looks, but the whole rest of it's the 360.
I love it.
Like and in the first verse, the lyric is, she could be hair up or hair down. Don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how she comes, she's hot, she's beautiful, she's all those things, but if she's hair up, she's good looking, she's hair down, just as good looking. She's dressed up, she's dressed down, she's all these things, but she's smart and she's funny and she's all these other things that make her this whole total package of she's a 360, man. She's not just a 10.
Yeah, dude, I that's one of the things I picked up instantly where before you said it, I was like, yeah, isn't it more like 10 out of 10, but it's more of like a bigger thing, because I just had this conversation with my girlfriend, and
right.
as a complete joke, I was like, you know what? And I was I'll admit, I was fishing for a compliment. But I was like, I'm a big city 7, but I'm a small town 10.
Right.
Hoping she'd be like, no, you're a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then got into that conversation. And then I'm like, well, what about if it's more, like, what's the scale? And then it's funny how your song came up. And I'm like, damn, it's meant to be. It's like, it's one of those conversation pieces that you even have with your buddies or just having with your other.
Yeah.
And then so it's a nice piece.
You want to, as much as like, beautiful women, beautiful people, like everyone, but to be more than that and have that connection with someone that's not just looks based, right? Where it's just like, yeah, she's beautiful, she's hot, she's all those things, and I think she's all of that. Mm-hmm. But also, we don't want to tell you the rest of the story. There's more to it, right? She's all these other things, and mm-hmm. She's that for me. And at some point, as good looking as she is, that only counts for like the first, little bit when you meet somebody. After that, it's like, can I hang like with this person? Yeah. Can I really see myself hanging out with this person like all the time? And that's where the rest of it comes in.
Yeah, no, that's another factor where it's just, the looks are great, but you got to fill out the rest of the stats. Is it
absolutely
great talking to? Is it great conversation? So on and so forth. So again, it's just more layers to the song where it is like everyone's going through it. And everyone has that thing. So yeah, it's a great song to kind of
especially in the time that we're in, where people are starting to date again. They're starting to go out and,
Right.
go out and do their
Exactly.
thing. So it's a good song and it's perfect timing.
And it was supposed to be a ballad. It was supposed to be a
Oh,
ballad.
really?
Yeah, we wrote it like a ballad. But it was supposed to be kind of like it should have been. It was supposed. The idea was centered around like "Rumor" by Lee Brice.
Yeah.
It was
Oh.
supposed to be like that. Great song, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, don't get me started. But great song. But that's where 360 was supposed to go. That's where 360 was supposed to go. It was down that alley. And then my producer was kind of like, because one of my producers was in the room when we wrote it. He was one of the co-writers, and he kind of like was like, "That's cool, but what about this?" And he like whipped something up, this little like demo, and we were like had that little banjo lick, and we were just like, "Okay, all right, I see what you're working with." And that's kind of how it. And we never looked back after that, because now all of a sudden we got a banger on our hands, and like we want to party now. So so we're really happy about it.
So on the note of Lee Brice and Rumor, as a songwriter, you have there's a few songs that either got you into songwriting or keeps you motivated while keep writing those songs. So do you have on top of your head maybe a lyric that you love that you always bring to your day-to-day, or maybe into your songwriting session? Is there like a song like Rumor, or is there anything that really brings you into?
That's a tough question. To kind of answer the best way that I can, I don't think that there's like one particular lyric or one particular song. I'm trying to consecutively, right word, outdo myself, like what I did last time, consistently. Just to find like, because what it is as a songwriter, like, so 360 is like a classic example.
Yeah,
people try to describe their significant other in songs since songs were songs, right? Like it's been a theme of songs, of popular music, to describe your significant other, right?
Yeah.
Since ever. But how can I say it in a way that nobody's ever said it?
That's the thing.
So that's kind of where. So I'm challenging myself, right? And like I'm trying to like how can I? Okay, I've written love songs before, but how can I write a love song different than I have and different than I've ever heard anybody else do? And not to say that mine's better or worse, but it's just different. It's a different take on it, because there's tons of amazing songs and incredible writers. And I mean, we gotta have that conversation. We're gonna be here till tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But the point is that I'm able to kind of push myself. And the reason I use the word rumors, because we were joking around, because the other writer, Kyle Jacobs, that was in on 360, he was a part of Rumor with Lee Brice. And so kind of had that vibe going on. We kind of had all that deal. We were talking about Rumor, we were talking about this. And then all of a sudden he picked up a bass guitar and started doing his thing. And we got this vibe going, and then maybe she's a 360 and all this stuff. And then it transitioned into an upbeat song. But to sit in a room with that guy, that he's had success writing for Lee, writing for other people. He's like got cuts, like coming out of everywhere. And my producer, who's worked with like, I don't know, half of Nashville, it's like you don't want to walk in the room and be like, okay, let's rhyme wall with ball. Like, let's try, what I mean? I want to get outside the box. I want to try something new. I want to try and push myself, and I want to contribute to the writer. Or else, like, not to say that it works with this, but maybe this guy sucks. I don't want to write with him anymore. Where it's like, I want to be better. I want to be the best I can be. So it's not necessarily one particular line or one particular, song that I kind of always go back to. I mean, you look at songs by Eric Church, like some of it by Eric Church, like there is zero fat in that song. You can't, if you take out one word of that song, any one of them, the song's not the same.
Yeah.
That song is incredibly written. Or if like, you look at like, some of the stuff that Thomas Rhett does and the Lee Brice stuff. And I mean, I can go on, but it's not that I pick one of them. It's that I take a little bit from this person, a little bit from that person, and, so on and so forth. And I can try and take that inspiration. Like, look at the stuff that Hardy and Morgan Wallen are doing right now.
Oh my God.
Unreal. And
Unreal.
but I listen, like, I'll take a song. So like, Morgan just dropped that 7 Summers song. I'll listen to that song 138 times, and everybody around me will hate me. But I want to dissect that song and figure out how he did all that, and then how can I take a piece of that and of course not use it, but like, use it to inspire me to come up with something in one of my songs. So it's more like that. It's not necessarily one particular song where I get in a write and it's like, okay, channel this song. It's like, it's more of a theme of I listen to a lot of music and I try and draw, even if it's a different genre. I wrote a song based off of an Eagles song one time. So I was driving to the right and I put on the Eagles and I was like, oh, okay. And then just kind of, Take It to the Limit was the Eagles song. That's what I was just trying to think of. It was Take It to the Limit. And then that day I went in and I wrote a song in 6/8, like the time signature of that song. And I went in and I wrote a song in that time signature because I was inspired by the Eagles song. Because I'm like, I don't really write in 6/8 time very often. Usually it's like regular 4/4 time, not to get music nerdy. But then I was like, I heard that song and I'm like, oh, this feels cool. It's different. And then I wrote a song like that day.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it definitely does make sense. Yeah. So like, on that note, like, what are you listening to at the moment?
Literally, dude, I mean, everything.
Yeah.
I had on, I just talked about the new Morgan Wallen, the new Hardy stuff. They both dropped songs recently. But I try and stay as current as I can of what's going on in country music, just because obviously I want to stay relevant and continue writing stuff that's kind of happening. And I enjoy the modern feel of country. Like that's kind of up my alley. I really like it. But I mean, I still listen to you want to have a Matchbox 20 off? I'm your guy.
Oh,
don't even start the first key on the piano of Bright Lights and expect me not to give you a She Got Out of Town as hard as I can. Okay? Because I will give it to you every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Okay? And that's just been, I mean, Matchbox, that era, like Matchbox, let's go. I see them every time they come to Mosinee. I'm there. I'm on the lawns. I've had 18 beers and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Boy, you spent over $500 on the beers and you're having a good time.
Hey, it don't matter at that point. It's Matchbox. When Robbie Thomas grabs the mic, I know what's going on. Man. And, and I go from that to like, man, high school, I listened to like rock, like Drowning Pool, like hard rock. And then there was a phase where I listened to like all the AC/DC stuff and all the Guns N' Roses and even like, house music, like techno type stuff. Like, I don't know. I had Loud Luxury on in the car. Yeah. I was getting fired up for training a hockey session. I got a little Loud Luxury.
You had to, man. They're made for that.
You're not gonna not, right? Exactly. And so, I go all the way around the board, like pop music. I'll even some rap stuff, like, because like as a songwriter, depending on the rap artist, like some of that stuff is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It's brilliant how they come up with their phrasing and the way they word things, and like, but it's all, it may not be your favorite genre, but if I listen to some random song and it gives me this random idea and I'm able to go and do this thing, like, and write something of it, you just never know. And I just enjoy switching it up and just checking out different stuff and what's going on.
Yeah. So like that is, I think that's crucial. And that's what I've been noticing with a lot of like artists that are having success like yourself, where they dabble into different genres. They dabble into here, like maybe like, Rob Thomas, Matchbox into, the new Drake, and not necessarily meaning that they'll be rap or they'll be rock, but they take maybe if they hear that kind of inspires me to do this another song. It turns out to be the best thing that they wrote. So with the musical inspiration, there also relies on the venue inspiration. There's sometimes I know with artists where they go into a venue where they haven't done before, or they always dream to be playing on that stage. Maybe it's the Danforth in Toronto or the Bud stage down near Lakeshore. What is that venue for you? What is that venue where you're like, this is the best place I've played at so far?
That I've already played at?
Yeah.
Well, just because of what the story is behind it, I would have to say Boots and Hearts.
Yeah.
Be a close second with Havelock Jamboree, but I would say Boots in the sense of like, how it happened. I'm not sure if we talked about this because the last time we did do an interview was literally at Boots and Hearts.
It was at Boots.
But years and years ago, before, I was barely playing pubs at this point.
Mhm.
Years and years ago, I would sit and I'd go to Boots as a fan. I camped for years as a fan, and we'll get into those stories another time. But I can, and they set Boots and Hearts up roughly the same every year.
Yeah.
The setup of it. Like if you've been there once, you understand the layout, and you only get lost the first year.
Yeah.
And I remember standing at a light pole. I was kind of like leaning on the fence that was around this light pole, and I'm looking up at the stage, and I was standing with a buddy of mine, and he's like Barks. Everybody calls me Barks. He goes, Barks, you gotta get up there, bro. You gotta figure out how you're gonna do it. But I don't know how you're gonna do it, but you gotta get up there. And I was standing there going, yeah, man, that'd be the coolest thing ever. That would be wild. I can't even imagine, but I'm gonna find a way, and I'm gonna get up there. I remember standing in the field, leaning against that fence on that certain light pole, and I had counted it. I was like 3 or 4 from the stage. I'm gonna be up on the stage. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know for what. But I'm gonna get up there. And I'm gonna do my thing up there. I guarantee it. Well, years go by, and we end up getting to the Boots and Hearts Emerging Artist Showcase, and obviously, was fortunate and successful there. And then last summer, getting to play my own set, to see my name on the poster was one of the coolest things, right? Because it's at this point, because in the Emerging Artist Showcase, it doesn't say your name on the poster. Yeah. I had my name on the Boots and Hearts poster, and that was one of the coolest things. And then to get up there, and I jumped up on the stage, and I came ripping out, and I was fired up. I mean, if you can't get up for that, you don't have a pulse. And I get ripping up there, and the crowd is rocking and rolling. The place is going nuts. And I look out, and there's my light pole, 3 or 4 light poles out. And I remember standing up, looking back at that light pole, being like, hey, man, that was worth it. So that moment in my career is the reason why Boots and Hearts is one of the coolest kind of moments so far. My dream venue is Bud Stage in Toronto.
Yeah.
Because it's my first concerts that I really went to.
Yeah.
It was the only thing I could afford at the time. I was buying like the $35 lawn seats at Molson Amp, and you'd see, it didn't really even matter who it was. One year was Matchbox, and it'd be, Kenny Chesney or Luke Bryan, and it didn't matter. And just because you wanted to go with your buddies up on the lawns, hang around and cruise and just enjoy the shows. And so to be able to play that iconic, Toronto kind of venue, because being from Ajax would be unreal. But to date, in my career so far, it's that story about the light poles at Boots.
Dude, that is a great story. That's an awesome story, man. I feel inspired. I'm not even just going to say it, dude. Like that's the thing that I do. I do all the time. Where if there's like, for example, Boots, where I was like, I want to host that one day, and I had that same like idea where I'm like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. But it's seeing someone that like yourself, like one day at this 4th light post on stage, I'm going to be there, and then it actually happens. So like that's a great story for especially other musicians out there who are like, I don't know, or like doing the pub circuit. Like, I don't know, I can't get out of it, but yes, you can. You just gotta believe.
I'm definitely taking the scenic route. Like I'm coming up on my 9th year in the business since I started doing this, and I mean, it ain't pretty all the time, and it's not necessarily cut out for everybody, but if you are stubborn enough and like, and you want it bad enough, I'm just saying, you could ask anybody I know, I'm stubborn. And I hope it's most times in a good way, but but it takes that amount of commitment, and you got to have it, and you got to have, you got to have the talent, you got to be able to have the chops. It is what it is, but you do have to have that perseverance. And I mean, not to get too deep on it, but I am a self-talker, like based on hockey, growing up in hockey, like before a big playoff game, like I'm sure you played sports, right? Like you're sitting in the dressing room for a playoff game and you're jittery, but like you got to get inside your own head and you got to talk. Hey, I get out there. I know what I got to do. All this kind of thing. And being out there on the ice, I got to calm down. I got to do my job. Mm-hmm. And so when I applied for the Boots and Hearts Emerging Artist Showcase, every day I would just imagine myself with the plaque in my hands. And not that like nobody else deserved to have it in my year. I thought everybody that was in my top 7 year that I would perform with that at the Emerging Artist Showcase was really talented. But I visualized, I just was there every night. I was like, I'm going to have that, I'm going to hold that plaque, and I got to have that plaque. And I thought about, that's all I thought. It's the same way as I thought about performing at Boots. I visualized having the plaque.
Well, no, yeah, you said it. That's a sports mentality where you got to picture yourself before the play happens. Like you're on the bench, or okay, what am I going to do the next shift?
Yeah.
And then it's one of those things where you don't think that will like help you in your actual life, because I still do that. And there's a thing where like a lot of people don't understand it until they do it. And there's a lot of people that don't share that mindset. They say, yeah, I want to become an artist. Yeah, I want to do this. I want to own a business. Where, there's days, like you said, it's not pretty. It's stressful. It is one of those days where you're like, why am I doing it? And but there's always that fire. There's always that something in you. I'm like, I have to do it. It's like, not if I want to. I have to, because I believe, and your art, your chops, everything. So like that's definitely, I can relate, and that's where a lot of people, I try to showcase or try to tell. And there's a couple buddies like, I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, honestly, when and then once you find that feeling or find that passion, just keep going. It's like the rock.
Absolutely.
Rock.
Yep. And you know what? I think the two points to support what you're saying. I think number one, it's okay to have a bad day.
Oh yeah.
It's okay not to get as much done as you wanted to in a certain particular day. Hey, you know what? I need a down day. I'm going to watch Netflix. I'm not doing anything today. I don't care. And you need those days to kind of recharge, and then you find that fire again, and then off you go again, right? But I can't remember who the quote's from, but this one quote is, whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. Whether you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. Either way, you're right. It's whatever you believe in, right? So it's how far you want to push yourself, and because you can go a lot farther than you think you can. And anyway, I try to live by that.
Dude, it's a great way to live by, and it's like, for me, it's frustrating when I see someone who is super talented, and it's like you can see them, but they're like, well, it's hard. I want to do something else. I'm like, no, like, come on, you can do it.
You can, yeah. But again, it's not for everybody, right?
Exactly. And that's another note where you're like, you know what? You tried your best. You try to help your friend, but it is what it is.
Success is relative, right? There's tons of talented people that like there's a couple bars locally out here where pre-COVID, of course, and there's a karaoke night, and there'd be a couple singers go out, and they're like rocking, absolutely crush. And it's like, well, why aren't you doing anything more? And literally had a conversation with one of them, because we just got talking about music, and she's like, yep, you know what? I love my life the way it is. I don't want to make any change. And the highlight of my music career, I love coming to karaoke and trying out new songs, and that's fun for me. And I get a thrill out of it, singing in front of people, and then I go home to my regular life, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
And then there are some guys where it's like, you know what? There's 4 or 5 buddies, and they're all play different instruments, drummer, guitar, bass, whatever. And you know what? Let's go play at the pub around the corner. We'll get free wings. We'll get some beers, a couple bucks for our pocket, some beer money, whatever. And you know what? We're a band. Hey, we're doing it, and that's success, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. I support that, because you know what? They're either going to do it in their garage anyways, and their dream is to play live music. They don't necessarily need to sell out the Bud stage to do it. They're just happy to do that, and that's their career. Not their career. That's their hobby that they've turned into a little bit of side money, and they love to do it. They're having fun with their buddies. Like, where's the harm in that?
Exactly.
It's awesome. That's the part about the music industry that's great, is that success is relative, right? If you want #1 hits and you want to sell at arenas and that, you got your work cut out for you. That's a level of success. But also, so is playing at a country bar. Playing music at a country bar, so is playing acoustic gigs at a patio of a pub. The fact that you had the courage to get out there and play on a pub in the first place, that's farther than 80% of musicians will ever go.
That's true.
Right? You took it out of your basement, you took it out of your garage. So that's something to be proud of in itself. So, not everybody, no matter how talented they are, necessarily has to, headline arena tours. If they're happy with their level of success and they want to go on, move on and do something else, then yeah, they were successful.
All the power to you.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, Barks, man, thanks for coming on, man. It was a great conversation. Got into the inspirational conversations where I usually find myself in. That was a great way to end it. So everyone, please go check out the brand new single 360 that is live everywhere. Everywhere. I went Jerry Seinfeld. I can't stop doing that.
That was really good, Jerry Seinfeld, actually.
Well, comedians in cars getting coffee. Amazing. Thank you. My girlfriend.
Thanks for your time, man. I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you, Barks, for coming on the Riley M. Welch Show. He's a reoccurring guest. What? We have a reoccurring guest on the show? This is crazy. Make sure you check out the single and the music video. That was directed by Tim Deegan. Crazy. He has been killing it in the music video business. Anyways, make sure you check out all his social media. That'll be down below. And make sure you check out mine too. I know you know what it is. I know you know what it is. Okay. Everything will be down below. Make sure you share this conversation. We're trying to grow this community, grow the country music community, especially with the time that we're in. Let's promote Canadian music. All right? Can I do that? All righty. Make sure you have a great day and support Canadian music, baby. Let's go. Let looses. See ya.